Bullish investors are like a frog in a pot of slowly boiling water. The trade war with China has been going on for so long that they don't realize that things are heating up. These same investors could get out of the market right now. They could get out of the market right now today, unharmed, untouched. But most of them are not going to do that. Most of them are going to stay in the market, believing that the heat is going to be turned off before things get too out of control. And unfortunately for them, for these investors, they're going to get severely burned. I want to thank everybody for tuning in today. And I want to remind every one of you, the algorithms now are not going to recommend videos like mine. They're not going to recommend videos that you follow. They're going to recommend mainstream media videos. So in order to find shows like this, to find my show, to find your favorite shows, you're going to have to make sure that you subscribe to them, make sure you hit the bell notification, and you're going to have to make sure that you physically check on a daily basis for those shows, because a lot of times people aren't getting notified with new videos. And it's going to get harder and harder to find these type of shows, as these algorithms now are going to force feed you mainstream media channels. I have a very interesting video for you today. I'm going to take you to a local mall here in Palm Desert, California, the Westfield Mall, and I'm going to show you just what is happening to the United States economy. I'm going to walk you through this mall, and I'm going to show you the devastation that is taking place with retail, with malls. I'm going to show you what is really happening. Now, this mall wasn't in Detroit. It wasn't in a poverty-stricken area. It was not in a bankrupt city. This mall, the Westfield Mall, is in Palm Desert, California. It is literally 2 miles away from a gated community where some of the wealthiest people in the United States of America reside and own homes. So this is not an impoverished area. This is not a bankrupted area. This is Palm Desert, California, a pretty affluent area. And I think you're going to be horrified when you see the apocalypse of retail that is taking place, and it is coming to a town near you. It is. So this right behind me used to be a diner. This has been vacant for probably a couple years now. This is another one, bites the dust. This right behind me used to be a Samuel's jeweler. They're gone, wiped out. They landed up owing over $100 million in debt. Could not pay that money back. All of their stores are now closed. Another one right behind me, gone, vacant. It's absolutely shocking to see what's happening here. Again, this is what's happening. This is not a poor, impoverished area, but this is what's happening to retail. This is what's happening to small business across America. You know, the sad thing is, even the stores that are open are dead. There's barely anybody in any of the stores shopping. It's really a tragedy to see what's happening here across America. Behind me, this was a restaurant. It's been vacant. I haven't been to this mall in a very long time, but this was vacant over a year ago, last time I was here. And so we continue to see more of this. And it's just another one that bites the dust, I guess. Another one bites the dust. This is a Lane Bryant store. This is a big store. What I've noticed what they're doing is they're dressing up the windows, turning on the lights, making it look like these stores still exist, but they don't. This is a big store. Nobody's home. We all know what's happening to Payless shoe stores right behind me. This store is gone. They're closing every Payless shoe store in the world. I think it's 3,200 stores all closing, so this will be gone shortly. Another store right behind me, gone. Walk over here, look at this. Here's a big one right here. Gone. So what I'm seeing here is they're dressing up the storefronts, yet there's no store inside. Door's locked. There is no store. They're gone. These are very large stores that are gone. Big, large, square foot stores. So again, they dress up the storefronts here. There's another one behind me. They dress up the windows. The stores are gone. Probably at the end of summer, we're going to see a lot more distress in this mall. It will continue to get worse as a lot of these stores are in huge, huge trouble. Here's one of the big anchor stores that is on borrowed time, JCPenney's. You can buy JCPenney's shares right now for 93 cents. They're under $1 as of this morning. Is this the next store to go down? These anchor stores, when these anchor stores like JCPenney's or Sears go, this mall is over. 93 cents for a stock of JCPenney's this morning. Please comment down below. I would be very curious to know what's happening at your local mall. Let me know what state it's in, what city, the name of the mall. I would be very curious to know what's happening across the country to your local shopping malls. Mine out here, the one I just went to today, is really being devastated. And I would expect by the end of this summer that I will probably see another 10 to 15% of those stores emptied. So comment down below. Let me know if the economy is starting to affect your local mall. I know there are exceptions. I'm sure there's many malls out there doing well and flourishing, but we are now witnessing this plague, this economic plague attacking retail, attacking the malls. And we know that most of the malls in America now are on borrowed time, and it's a very, very sad state of affairs to witness this and watch this. Comment down below. Please let us all know what is happening in your area. I want to change the topic really quickly here. I want to talk about the weather that is occurring in the Midwest. Massive tornadoes, flooding, winds, rain, you name it, is occurring right now in the Midwest. The state of Ohio, there are 5 million people without power at this moment. Residents in Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, Idaho, Colorado, Nebraska, Minnesota, and a slew of others are still under a severe weather warning. You know, we talk literally daily about preparing on this channel, mentally, physically, spiritually, and financially, being prepared. You don't have to wait for a man-made disaster to occur. A natural disaster is a disaster, and you should be prepared for it. I live on the biggest fault zone in America, right here in Coachella Valley. We could have a very large earthquake take place here. So anybody living on a fault zone, anybody living in an area where tornadoes are frequent, flooding's frequent, bad weather is frequent, why are you not prepared with food and water? The government is not going to get to you right away. It could take days, it could take weeks for the US government to get to you. In the meantime, you're on your own. So it's another reason to make sure you are prepared every which way, because it doesn't have to be a man-made disaster. It can be a natural disaster. But let's talk about man-made disasters now, because those are on their way. Morgan Stanley said today that the US economy is on recession watch as the bond market flashes warning signs. You know, the stock market and economic outlook in the United States of America, ladies and gentlemen, is deteriorating. And whether people want to believe that or not, look at it with your own two eyes. You just saw a video I just showed you of what is happening to your local malls. I know it's happening all over the country. I know that the mall near my house is not the only mall being affected. I know that the majority of malls across America are being affected. I know the majority of retail across this country is being affected. People can be naive. They can look the other way. They can turn their back on knowledge, but that is not going to stop what is coming. The economic tsunami is coming to America, and it is going to do massive damage. It is going to do more damage than what we're seeing happening in the Midwest. As people go to Starbucks today and sip on their little mochas and their little lattes, as they play video games, as they watch their sports, as they watch their reality TV, as they live in their little bubbles, I'm here to tell you that the economic risk right now today is much greater than you think it is. The economic risk today is much greater than most investors think it is. Let's go over some stats and let's go over some facts right now. Manufacturing is at a 9-year low. The service sector has had a noticeable slowdown. Another fact. We had the April durable goods report come out. It was bad. Trade war with China heating up. The adjusted yield curve inverted last November, and it's remained in negative territory ever since. We got the 10-year yield today at 2.26%. Trade deficit, we know, is going to continue to widen. 3 of the last 4 trading days have been down. Today, we opened up over 100 points. We closed negative 237 points on the Dow. Retails fell again last month. Watch my video. You can see that it's obvious, it's very apparent. Business investment has nearly dried up. GDP is predicted to be around 1% for the second quarter of 2019. U.S. home prices slumped for the 12th straight month in a row. This is all current. This is all factual. These are your latest statistics, and this is why I believe right now we have entered the recession. We are at the beginning stages of this recession, and it is going to continue to get worse. I think that we are going to see a very, very rough summer economically here in America. I believe that this recession is going to snowball, and I believe we're going to start seeing very severe signs of this recession starting this summer, where they can no longer deny it or sweep it under the rug, that most of America is going to witness it and know that we are in a recession and that there is going to be no denying it. As most of you know, I'm not a financial planner, nor am I a financial advisor, but I'm going to tell you what I'm doing. I'm going to be purchasing gold and silver this week. This is not the time to be buying toys. This is the time to be paying your debts off. This is the time to be putting some cash aside. This is the time to take some of that monopoly money and actually purchase precious metals, the two most undervalued assets in the entire world, as they got hammered today. This is a buying opportunity, and I really, really believe, truly believe, that you need to be holding hard assets for this tsunami that is coming to America. I read an article today on CNBC, very interesting. 25% of Americans worry about money all the time. I'm shocked that it's only 25%. I believe it's much higher than that. 30% rate the financial system right now as fair. 15% rate it as poor. 21% of the population here in America has zero money saved up. Ask yourself, what will these people do when this economic tsunami, when this recession, this slowdown, this Great Depression, call it whatever you will, what are these people going to do? 21% of Americans have zero money saved up. 1/3 of Americans could not cover a $400 expense. That could be a medical emergency. That could be an auto repair. That could be 2 flat tires. That's how close 30% of Americans are to literally being homeless. 36% worry about paying their monthly bills. These are not good signs. This is telling you to wake up and get ready. You don't want to be one of these people. These people are going to wake up to a nightmare when this tsunami hits. These are going to be the casualties to this economic tsunami. You must prepare right now. We don't know if it's going to hit this summer, but what we do know is it's already begun. We're not even talking about when it's going to start. It's already started. The tsunami is arriving right now. It has begun. And every day that goes by that you're not getting ready is another day that you're taking a massive risk of not surviving this economic recession. And it's going to affect everybody, rich or poor, prepared or not. It's going to affect everybody. But the people who are prepared are putting the odds in their favor that they're going to survive it and even prosper. How about this? This is where we are at as a country. 3 million senior citizens in the U.S. are still paying off their student loans. That's unbelievable. And as we said earlier, Treasury yields have plunged. This is the biggest warning sign that this recession has begun. So I'm going to close this video out, but before I do, I want to go over one more article, and it was on Zero Hedge. It was authored by Michael Snyder, and he talked about the little hope for America, that there's little hope for America. And in this article, it talked about the millennials and how entitled, not all, there are exceptions, but a majority of millennials today are entitled. They're selfish, they're rude, they're arrogant, they're proud, they're disrespectful, they're ungrateful, they're undisciplined, and they're obsessed with themselves. This is how he labels the millennials of today. Now, I believe that you could probably label half of society with this group. These are the people, when you go out to dinner, when you go shopping, when you go to a Walmart, they're walking around in their pajamas, they're walking around in their slippers, they're hitting the vape pen every 2 minutes, they've got their heads down on their phones, not caring who they're walking into. These are the people who have been indoctrinated for years at the universities. These are the people who have been raised by the television. These are people who walk around in their real lives believing and dreaming that they're reality TV stars. These are the people that you're going to be dealing with when this financial collapse hits America. These are the most unprepared people in the entire world. These people are undisciplined. They haven't worked hard. They don't know about sacrifice. They don't know about respect. They don't know about independence, taking care of themselves. They don't know about thinking outside of the box. They're zombies. And so just imagine what we're going to see unfold here in America when all hell breaks loose, when this economy goes. Listen, these storms in the Midwest are horrible. Tornadoes are scary. They're bad. But you haven't seen anything yet until you see a major economic collapse hit a country. And when an economic collapse like the one coming hits America, a group of people who are entitled, who are soft, who are disrespectful, who don't know how to sacrifice, who don't really know how to fight for anything, don't have a belief in anything, don't believe in anything, don't believe in God. They don't walk the walk because they don't have anything, they don't stand for anything, they don't believe in anything. So what are these people going to do? My advice today is prepare right now, because this thing is starting to get close. And I think most of you watching this realize that, understand it, believe that something very evil is coming to America. And unfortunately, people like these millennials, people in society who act like these millennials, they're going to pay the most severe price, and it could be their life. Avoid being one of these people. Make sure you're preparing mentally, physically, spiritually, and financially. Because if you don't, you're going to land up like one of these people.